Peace, peace. Your boy Justin Shabazz. My audio got messed up on the last live, so I got to come back and create this new one. So basically, my talking points on this was John Morant. You know, the big scandal. You hear it all around social media and all the news. Um, and I look at it as John Morant. He's misunderstood. He's misunderstood kid from the ghetto. And I don't know if people around him, peer pressure has affected him, but he has to make better decisions. You know what I'm saying? That's just bottom line. You cannot um, keep letting people trick you out your position, and that's. And I've talked about this particular topic earlier. People will try to trick you out your positions. You know what I'm saying? When they know you have a lot going on in your life, a lot of positive, what I'm saying, positivity, and you are, he's the head of household, and not only his household, but I'm pretty sure he provides for a lot of people in his circle. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do you expect from a young kid that is still learning life? Of course, you can't keep making the same mistakes over and over. He cannot, you know, keep doing toxic things and thinking there's gonna be no consequences when they just waiting for you to mess up one time, melanated man. And I don't think he has the right people in his corner to talk to him and let him know that black men, especially black masculine men, are under attack right now. And it's like, we it's a lot we have to deal with out here as melanated men, as masculine melanated men, because I believe we are under the most attack because they want to eliminate the masculine black male. Because I think we are the biggest agitators, we are the biggest components against white supremacy that will call out white supremacy, that can see through white supremacy. You know what I mean? So the conscious melanated masculine man is under attack. And you have to really be careful. Move smooth, but stay dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Right now, because you got there's so much shit going on in the world. But back to John Morant. No, I don't want to be rambling off too far. John Morant, like I said, he's a misunderstood kid from the ghetto. But this is just a couple layers to this. You know what I'm saying? And they said that the guy, they say John Morant had a couple incidents, and him waving the gun in the club wasn't the first one, incident that he had particularly. So I'm gonna read from the New York Post what it says real quick, right? They say Ja Morant, he's risks losing everything as legal troubles mount. Someone said beyond stupid. So they're gonna bash him. They can't wait for him to mess up. Even Skip Bayless, I call him Skip Baseless, this old white guy who never did shit in sports in his life. He just gets to come and commentate and prejudge everyone. That's what they get paid to do because they don't have they have never been athletes in their life. He probably knew somebody that got him in the business, and Skip Baseless um, was able to keep his job because probably white privileges. But so he says he asks if John Moran has been initiated by Crips gang. Skip Baseless, what the hell do you know about gangs? Okay. Oh, maybe I do think he knows because he's part of a gang. It's called white supremacy. But end of the day, the $193 million 23-year-old hoops phenomenon is already being compared to the likes of Kobe Bryant and LeBron James cashing in on lucrative deals with Nike and Powerade. But like so many gifted but troubled athletes before him, Morant is barely clinging to slippery footholds on the mountain of success. The Memphis Grizzlies has been benched its star point guard for at least 2 games after he filmed himself flashing a handgun at a bar Saturday morning, spurring a police investigation. But Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins hinted Sunday that Morant's suspension could be longer. So he's suspended indefinitely now. First it was 2 games, now he's suspended indefinitely. We're taking it one day at a time, Jenkins told reporters before a game against the Clippers. There's no definitive timeline. It's really not a timetable situation. The Instagram clip, which showed the two-time NBA All-Star shirtless in the club, grinning as he waved the pistol at the camera, is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Morant's troubles. Morant posted the video just days after the Washington Post published a bombshell report detailing two confrontations Morant had last summer, right? One with the 17-year-old basketball prospect at his Tennessee home, and another with a security guard at a Memphis shopping mall. When paired with other incidents, such as allegations that Morant's entourage may have pointed a red laser that was possibly attached to a gun at members of the Indiana Pacers in February, a portrait begins to emerge of a young athlete who's more than willing to squander the tremendous opportunities placed before him. Right? So the mall squabble, which happened in July 2022 at a Finish Line shoe store, started when Morant's mother started arguing with an employee. According to records obtained by the Washington Post, she called Morant, who, along with his entourage, eventually confronted the director of mall security in the parking lot. They quarreled, and one of Morant's friends allegedly pushed the guard in the head, the newspaper said. As they were leaving, Morant allegedly told the others that he wanted to find out what time the guard got off work. The guard felt threatened and sought to file a police report, the Washington Post said. Gotta be careful. They waiting for us to mess up so they can go ahead and call the police. And what the police gonna do? Come with aggression, and of course they're coming to make arrests off the gate. They're not coming to meditate. They're not coming to mediate. They're not coming to counsel and make sure that the situation gets handled properly or to de-escalate the situation. Most cops are coming to escalate the situation. Okay, when it comes to these race soldiers. So eventually the parties left the scene and no arrests were made. Just 4 days later, on July 26th, Morant and a friend allegedly assaulted a 17-year-old male during a pickup basketball game at Morant's brick mansion on the outskirts of Memphis, the newspaper said. The teenager, who was reportedly enamored with Morant and told police he thought of the Grizzly star as something of a mentor, was guarding Morant when things turned ugly. Right? It's not clear what provoked the exchange, but Morant threw the ball hard at the boy when he was checking it in, the Washington Post said. The boy chucked it back equally as hard, but the ball went through Morant's hands and hit him in the face, the boy later told police. Morant allegedly put his chin on the youth's shoulder and asked his friend, "Do I do it to him?" His friend said he should, the Washington Post said, so Morant allegedly punched the boy, connecting with his shin just as the friend attacked from the other side, catching the youth in a pincer of flying fists. The pair continued the beatdown until they were pulled off. Morant then allegedly went into his house, got his gun, tucked it in his pants, and walked outside. He didn't pull the firearm out, the newspaper said, but he put his hand on it. That's when T. Morant yelled at his point guard son to go back inside, the Washington Post said. Morant later told cops that he acted in self defense because the boy had thrown the ball at him, then stepped forward and pulled his pants up. He interpreted that as a sign the kid wanted to brawl. Like, all right now, I have to protect myself, Morant told detectives, according to the Washington Post. I swung first. The ball was the first swing to me. Let's see. Do I got anybody back here? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'm just going to keep going on with the live. Allegations between the parties continued to fly as weeks went by, including a police report filed by the Morants that said the boy allegedly threatened to come back and light this place up like fireworks. In September, the teen and his mother sued Morant and his friend, Devontae Peck, but the ongoing lawsuit, first reported by TMZ in January, was immediately sealed, according to reports. One of Morant's attorneys reportedly called the lawsuit a shakedown. Rebecca Adelman, the family's attorney, did not respond to a request for comment from the Post on Monday, but in the January statement published by WMC TV Action News 5 in Memphis, Adelman's firm called the fight a tragic situation involving an assault and battery by two adults and a minor during a basketball game at the home of Mr. Morant. Our client's mental and physical well-being now and his future are our priorities, the statement said, adding that there would be no further comments. At the same time, the Shelby County District Attorney's Office declared there was not enough evidence to proceed with the case. Morant's antics have deeply disappointed those closest to him, sources said, including his biggest defender, father T. Morant, who was caught getting into it with Fox Sports host Shannon Sharpe at a January Lakers game. They had to throw that out there, you know. So they said his father is really disappointed with the choices that his son has made lately. And the fact that his life choices led him to holding up a handgun is beyond stupid, a source told the Post, adding that the elder Morant was shocked by the video. Making it into the NBA is already like drawing a lottery ticket, so for him to fumble the bag is even more disappointing, the friend continued. He was raised in a two-family household and attended private school, so being a thug and trying to portray that lifestyle is the farthest thing from the truth when it comes to jobs like that. He was not raised that way. Even if the legal cases peter out, Morant, who grew up in South Carolina, will be well served take advice from Shannon Sharp, who has emerged as one of his fiercest critics. And he says this, Shannon Sharp, Ja, just move differently, bruh. That's the only advice, Sharp said on FS1, Fox Sports. I would never give you any advice about how to play basketball, but I would try to give you some advice about how to move. Let someone else's lesson be your lesson, and that's it's good advice. And I'm sure Shannon Sharp can relate because he was a teenager at one time. He was a 20-year-old at one time trying to get into the NFL, and he had to deal with the peer pressures. He had to deal with the antagonizers. He had to deal with all kind of factors. But it's mind over matter, and not just that. You have to understand the overall bigger picture. You have to understand that it's not just for you; it's for your children. It's for your children's children. You know what I mean? A lot of people depend on John Morant, so he has to really, really move differently. He might want to eliminate some of his friends around him. That's not going in a positive direction. That's not helping him to build his brand. That's not helping him to focus on basketball and not trying to be a thug or a hip hop rapper. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem too, as well. These new age children, teenagers, was it Generation Z? I know it's not millennials. It's Generation Z, I think. They have to prove so hard. They have to prove so much to people that they're hard, that they're street, that they're still in the hood, they're still outside. And it's like if you're in your 30s, late 20s, I'm sure you already had your escapades of being with gangs or being around people that you know are doing wrong. Because I remember specifically my few last years, not even few last years, my first couple of years of high school, I was around drug dealers, I was around gangsters, I was around murderers. But you know what helped me? My mom, my ear telling me, get your ass in this house by a certain time. Because my mom was a terrorist. We looked at her wrong, she whooped out. You know what? So it's like boys in the hood. When I knew my people I was dealing with was going to do some dirt, first thing I'm thinking in my mind, back in my mind, saying, get in this house. And I'm like, drop me off. It's like boys in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I was soft or a punk. I just knew that I was not trying to be involved in this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And most people I grew up with that was gangsters, thugs, drug dealers either got locked up, killed, or they suffered severe setbacks. You know what I mean? Like people chase this American dream. People chase this bag to where they're delusional because they're trying to get money so much that they forget about principle. They forget about morality. They forget about integrity, and they cross their lines and boundaries just to get a couple dollars. You know what I mean? People will throw integrity out the window for a bag. And that's the part where I think we not on code as black people because we so quick to sell out our brand. We so quick to sell out our establishment, our foundation for a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, back to Ja, what this should tell Ja right here is definitely he got to move different. You know what I'm saying? What this should tell Ja is you get a good two, sometimes three chances at life, situations. Some people get more. Some people are like nine lives, you know what I'm saying? But this is his first strike, you know what I'm saying? He don't want that second strike because look how they did Kyrie. Even though he was able to get up out of there in Brooklyn, they definitely try to buck break and villainize Kyrie for just sharing a post. So imagine what they can do to Ja for brandishing a gun on social media. It was just tasteless, and it was a bad. He probably was buzzed, wasn't paying no mind, or didn't think that it would what I mean, get out, leak out. I don't know what he was thinking, but it definitely wasn't smart. Whatever he was thinking, you know what I'm saying. But see, I want to add another layer to all of this, right? Definitely, I'm a black man from the inner city. I came from the mud from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mom did the best she could as she did the best she could as a single black parent, raising a 6'2", 12-year-old, 13-year-old at the time, eating her out of house and home. That's she always told me, you're gonna eat me out of house and home. So my thing is, I can relate to a little bit of what John's going through. And the thing is, this is the part I'm talking about, right? So, I grew up and I've been to Catholic schools. I've been to public schools. My mom like home tutored us, me and my sister, first couple of years of our life. So we got in the fifth, sixth grade, we were sharp headed of the game. So my thing is, when it comes to your peer pressure, your peers, when it comes to keeping it real, and when it comes to this trap music and this litty lifestyle, people not thinking that everything you post can come back to bite you. Everything you say can come back to bite you, especially when you're in the public eye, when you are half $1 billion guy. You know what I'm saying? And you're a melanated $1 million, half $1 billion guy, which means everybody's trying to get to that spot, no matter what I'm saying, what it takes. People would, I hate to say this, people will kill their mom for that bag. People will knock off their wife, their husband, their children for the right price because humanity is more valued than a dollar. You know what I mean? Humanity is not valued no more. It used to be man, woman, and child. It used to be money over humanity. No, excuse me. Let me say that right. It used to be humanity over the dollar bill. Now it's dollar bill over humanity. Human life is not regarded anymore. Human life is not cherished. It's not, what I'm saying, preserved as something that, people don't even care about life no more, period. So it's like John Morant was a human being, you know, growing and learning in this world, United Snakes of America. Because look at it like this: what images they give you as a teenager when you're young. You get movies like Scarface. They give you movies like Soprano, Casino, all these mob movies with violence and guns and drugs. But they keep portraying these images, Scarface. They keep portraying these movies. Um, to go on and on. But the thing is, of course, growing up, we knew, what I mean? I was born in '77. So the '80s babies, '90s, we knew that hip hop, that music was just entertainment. You know what I mean? We didn't ever emulate the things that we listened to. We never emulate the things we see, the visuals on TV, because we knew it was entertainment and we knew the difference of entertainment and real life, non-fiction and fiction. What I think with these children nowadays, not only they don't really know the difference, it's like they don't give a damn. And you got Molly, you got E, you got K2. We didn't have all this stuff growing up. You know what I'm saying? We had weed. It might have been Molly here and there, E, but we didn't have all these pills. You know what I'm saying? People popped out on pills. Fentanyl definitely was not around in the '90s. And K2, that's something the government created to knock people off their square. Because I think it knocks the psyche off. You know what I mean? I work at a psych center and I've seen a lot of people come through there, the forensic unit specifically with that K2 um, contamination, with the K2 overload of the brain. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these are all different factors out there that's like used against you, propaganda. You know what I'm saying? The food, the weather, the list goes on and on. I'm not here to talk about that particular thing right now. Talk about John Morant, and he has to move differently. He has to take a step back. Maybe he should go do some yoga. You know what I mean? Take some Tai Chi and just relax for a while, bro. You know what I'm saying? Kind of remind me of Iverson back when he first got in the league and he got caught up in a gun situation where somebody took his Benz. He let one of his friends borrow his Benz and they ended up getting pulled over and caught with a loaded handgun. And they definitely tried to villainize Iverson, but what saved him is he was driving the car at that time. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure his friend got incarcerated or got, penalized for that instance. But John Morant, is he the new Allen Iverson? And I don't mean just physically with the skills. What I mean is, he has the hair, he has the tattoos, he has the swag, the flair. Even though Iverson had a little, a long career, he had longevity, but he was a trendsetter. You know what I mean? When he had the Iversons, you know what I'm saying? The braids with the micros. Like I said, he came with the tats, um, baggy jeans and do rags. They created a whole dress code behind Allen Iverson because they didn't want the black culture to be portrayed in the mainstream like that. They didn't want do rags, you know what I mean, to be portrayed in the limelight, to be portrayed on public TV like that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is so crazy. The stuff they don't want to show and see, They try to emulate to this day. They try to emulate hip hop. Hip hop is accepted in every facet of sports, media, basketball, football, even in commercials. But they also the same people who claims hip hop wouldn't last that long. Here we are, what 50 years later, hip hop is here even stronger than ever. Multi-billion-dollar industry. But the problem is, why don't we own nothing? We own no record labels, no distribution, no production companies. Only thing we may own is a freaking album, and you don't own that because you don't own the masters. So it's like we the biggest consumers. The black dollar stretches the farthest, but we don't control anything. We don't manufacture anything or produce anything. But Ja, you have to sit back and think about this. Whoever's around your corner, you might want to get some new people. Change your phone number. You know what I'm saying? And it's like another layer to this is like the pressures of the inner city. You know what I mean? Like I said, with your peers, because being that I went to Catholic school, being that I had a little intelligence, I talked with some, sense of substance. Some woman, black woman, hood woman, they called me a white boy, and I was like, okay, cool. That's what you feel. That's what you feel. But it don't stop me from moving and doing what I do. I know I ain't no white boy, but I know I can talk with intelligence. I can go fill a job application. I can write a resume, and I can get that job because it's called the best of both worlds. You're supposed to have some street knowledge, some hood, saying street smarts, but you also should know how to go in corporate America and be able to be sufficient and work and maneuver around these people. It's like you got to morph in the matrix. Okay, you got to know how to talk to all facets and all ethnic backgrounds and all aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I thank my mom for raising me in, teaching me early and putting me in Catholic school and putting me in camps like Camp Childbirth in the Salvation Army. But they don't have programs like that no more. I remember at 12, 13, I was going to camp for 2 weeks in Hammond, New York, Camp Childbirth through the Salvation Army, and that gave me substance. That gave me, you know, um, some direction. You know what I mean? It gave me some type of organizational skills. We had arts and crafts. We stayed in cabins. You had to get up every day and do chores. It gave you some substance and it gave you some type of direction. It made you, wholesome to do things like this and go to activities. You know what I'm saying? Arts and crafts. You know, but these kids now, they don't have no substance. They don't have nothing to look up to. We had foosball tables in the rec centers. Of course, you had basketball, and hockey, table hockey. Well, that's pretty much foosball. They call it table hockey. But it's like, where did we go wrong? You know what I'm saying? In the inner city, and Ja lives on the outside of Memphis. You might want to get up out of Memphis, bro, because Memphis, well, at least you're not in the inner cities, because you got bodies dropping like flies in the inner cities of Memphis. But Ja, don't let them trick you out your position, Ja, because they'll do it. You know what I mean? I'm just so shocked. LeBron went all these years with no controversy, with no mess ups, no mishaps. You know what I'm saying? No arrests. You know what I mean? He kept squeaky clean. And you can too. But the problem is people want to be accepted so much. People want to be accepted by the streets. People want to have street cred. People want to have, you know what I mean? Oh, when I go to the hood, I can check in, or I might not have to check in. I mean, all that nonsense. Why black people got to check in anywhere we go? White people ain't checking in. Asian people not checking in. You know what I'm saying? No other race or ethnicity is checking in with black people. Like we bully each other, and that's the crazy thing. You know what I'm saying? You never hear no Amish people come to New York and have to check in. I mean, shit, the Amish got a mob. The Amish is like a mafia. They deep. You don't want to mess with no Amish people. You know what I'm saying? Because they deeper than you think, and they have money and power. But back to what I was saying, Ja, don't let them trick you out your position, Ja. You're a talented guy, swag. You know what I'm saying? You're young life ahead of you. You could get at least 15 years in this league. For brandishing guns, you're gonna get 15 years in the Bing. You know what I mean? Keep that brief though. Protons, electrons always cause explosions. Um, I'm gonna have to plan these lives more. I know, and I'm gonna have people that's already prepared to come on. Because you'll talk to somebody Monday, oh, I'm going live, later tonight or tomorrow, whatever. You let them know, give them heads up, and then by the time you go click that link to send to them to come in, your live as a guest. You got all kind of stuff going on. People calling you, people calling them maybe. Uh, they can't get on the live because their link is not working. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen. The devil's always busy, they say, right? But I'm not gonna give John no advice. He's a grown man, and what can I tell a man? You know what I'm saying? He don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? His dad is the only one that can stop all this madness right now because I'm pretty sure his dad is the only one that he respects and he listens to for the most part. So, dad, you got to get in there because, like I said, it only takes one or two incidents you can really get up out of there. I'm gonna give y'all an example. Remember Chris Childs? He played for the NBA back in the days. I remember him and Kobe got into a scrap, and he punched Kobe like bing bing like a combo two three times. They broke it up, and I remember Chris Childs was gone within a year from the league. Why? Because the NBA and these sports leagues are not going to let you come in there and sabotage their big picture, and that's the money. Once you mess with their money and the integrity, and then you compromise their pockets, they're going to listen. They're either going to have a talk with you, let you come back amongst them, or they're going to say, "Get the hell out of here and get you up out of there," because nobody likes controversy. Nobody likes too much toxic behavior. It rubs off and it hurts the integrity, especially dealing with organizations. You know what I'm saying? And nobody wants a black guy to an organization. Nobody wants a black guy. So, like I said, John, I'm gonna keep John in prayers, and hopefully he bounces back through this. But this could be a small thing to a giant, or maybe the guy needs really some help. You know, remember, since a kid, everything you turn on TV was violent. Shoot them up, bust them up. You see the police killing black people regularly, unarmed black people on camera, and some people can be traumatized by that. That don't mean go out and emulate what you see or take matters in your own hands. But I was talking to somebody earlier about this, and I'm like, everybody knows that lives in the inner city about systematic oppression and racism and the correlation it has with mental health. But no, they don't want to talk about that. The more you oppress a person, the more you discriminate on them and give them racist behavior, they're going to eventually flip. It's like a kettle, teapot. Eventually, it's going to boil over when it gets too hot. And a lot of times, we take our anger out on each other because we usually vent and take out our frustrations on the closest thing to us. And most of the time, we can't take it out on white people because what they got? They got the police behind them. They got the judges behind them. They got lawyers, doctors. They got the whole system behind them to do the fuckery, do whatever they want. The malpractices they do. That's really the number one cause leading to death. It's malpractice. Surgery's gone bad. Ask some of the BBL women. Well, you can't ask them because they're still not dead from botched surgeries. The But at the end of the day, just I hope Job bounces back from this, and I hope that he really pays attention to his circle. Because if you don't pay attention to your circle, it can hurt you. You already know. Protons, electrons cause explosions. Everybody have a beautiful weekend, or excuse me, beautiful Monday. You know what I mean? Monday evening. What I meant to say. Going into Tuesday, move smooth, but remain dangerous. I grew up in the era where you don't. Two things a man should not pull out unless you're going to use it: his dick and his gun. You don't pull them out unless you're going to use it. And you don't flash dance. You know what I mean? You already. Peace.